Welcome back, YCN Sports Talk. Jeremy Stout, Dave Collins. Dave, before we get to the college part and the bowls and all that good stuff, talk to me about Monday Night Football.
What do you want to hear?
I want to know what the Jets' plan is, because we saw Bryce Petty, as we've talked about it, and even he didn't look that good. This Colts defense is not that good.
Oh, the Jets' defense was Swiss cheese, though. I mean, they weren't within 10 yards of anybody through the first two drives. Here's what it is. The Jets don't have a plan, and I can tell you they don't have a plan because Ryan Fitzpatrick, the starting quarterback in Monday night's game against Indianapolis, didn't know that he wasn't going to start the rest of the season until after the game before he took to the podium post-game. Nobody told him that Bryce Petty is scheduled to start the rest of the remaining regular season games for the Jets.
Right.
Fitzpatrick didn't know about it. He's done. Yeah. Waste of money. Okay, you tried. It's the same situation with the Jets. It's rinse and repeat. Yeah. New coach, new GM every 2 or 3 seasons. What they need, and here's the other thing too, since Parcells, every coach that the Jets have had through the 90s, through the 2000s, through the 20-teens, which we're in now, it's all been first-time coaches. Mangini, Rex Ryan, Todd Bowles, all got their shot as a first-time coach with the New York Jets. We need to go back to something like Parcells, who came in here. You know, he left New England because he couldn't have control of the team. They gave him full control. He was fine. He set everything up for Bill Belichick to come there.
And that didn't work out.
We said this on the show, and it didn't work out. But they need somebody, whether Tom Coughlin's still floating around the Meadowlands complex, bring him in maybe as a special
They need somebody who's got a plan, who knows what he's doing.
I'd love to have Harbaugh. That's not going to happen. But I don't know what the list is. You need someone with coaching experience in the NFL to be the coach of the New York Jets.
And you need the whole front office to just figure out what they're doing.
What do you need?
They don't have a lot of players on that roster who can even compete.
How about this? Instead of getting Vice President Lex in the owner's box, Woody Johnson,
maybe get a
can you
GM?
get a GM in there or an NFL coach that's had experience so we can look at this team and go, okay, I'm going to blow this whole thing up and I'll have it set for you by game 1 of next season. It's horrendous.
They got a long way to go.
A very long way to go. And, you know, it's back and forth between, we know what the Browns are. They haven't won a game. But between San Francisco and the Jets, which, by the way, those two teams will play for half the country this weekend on TV.
Them.
Jets go to San Francisco. Who's worse right now? You can flip a coin. I don't know.
It's going to be bad. Let's get over to the college side. Finally, the college football playoffs were announced as we expected. Really, I think what we expected, maybe not what we were hoping for. Alabama plays Washington, and then Clemson plays Ohio State in the other semifinal.
Yeah, we talked about it 3 weeks ago. You know, Ohio State, this thing set up perfectly for them. They didn't have to play the Big Ten championship game. I watched most of the Penn State game with Virginia Tech on in the corner against Clemson, and it was really surprising. I had that feeling, just that sense that Penn State was going to do something even though they were down, and they came back. I really would have liked to seen them in the Final Four. Maybe this pushes for 6 teams. Western Michigan, sorry guys, I was rooting for you. You're still undefeated. You're not going to play for the championship. But I think it has to go to 6 teams, and I think you have to spread it out between all the New Year's Day bowls as well.
Right, and the other thing, and I don't know if you had mentioned this last week, but you have that maybe 6 or 8 teams. The first home game, or the first game's at home. So you don't have to travel. So you don't have to expect the fans to travel 2 or 3 times. So you have the first round of 6 or 8, whatever it may be, at home. And then you have the neutral sites and then the championship.
And can you imagine some of those scenes late December, early January, like at Happy Valley or maybe at Columbus, snow, 20 degrees? I mean, that's what people want to see on TV, too.
Right now it would have been, if they had 8 teams, it would be Michigan and Ohio State again at Ohio State at the Horseshoe. That would be a big one. So,
and, you know, if you would have put Penn State in that number 4 spot, yes, they would have gotten blown away by Alabama.
Well, I think Washington's going to anyway.
I do, too. But I think if Penn State had a chance to go against Ohio State or Washington, I don't know if you can give the 1 and 2 teams a bye if you go to 6 teams, but it wouldn't have been fair for Penn State to have to play Alabama anyway. So we know how this is sort of going to set up.
Well, exactly. It's going to be Alabama, but I think that Clemson-Ohio State game will be good. So Penn State wins the Big Ten. They get into a Rose Bowl. I mean, I know it's not a great consolation. You miss out on the top 4, but a Rose Bowl is pretty big.
Compared to where this program was 5 years ago, and we don't have to go into that, this is a huge accomplishment for the Nittany Lions and that whole area.
And Western Michigan, as you said, they remain undefeated. They're the highest-ranked undefeated team. They get the New Year's Six Bowl in the Cotton Bowl against Wisconsin. If they can beat Wisconsin, then we can say, hey, it's a Big Ten. Look, they're legit. They're a Big Ten team.
What if Western Michigan goes out and blows out the Badgers like 35-7?
It's not going to
mean anything anymore. I mean, I feel like this season went back to, as we talked about last week, the BCS standings and committees from 15 years ago where, quality win and quality opponent have a lot to do with it.
It did. So, quickly, before we take a break, for bowl games personally, when do you start? Are there certain games you like watching, or is it kind of just the standard New Year's Day and then the championship?
It starts with the playoffs. If UNH was in it, they were in it. Unfortunately, they got bounced out. Yep. Temple, if Temple's in there, they are going to be in the game. Villanova in the other playoffs. That's when I start paying attention to it. Maybe Rutgers, local Philadelphia, New York teams that I grew up on. But I won't watch anything until New Year's Day, and then usually it's hockey with the outdoor or with the
That's
Winter
true,
Classic.
New Year's Day, Winter Classic. And this will be the last year, I think, that the playoff games, the semifinals, are on New Year's Eve. I think they're bumping them because the ratings
were horrible last year. Yeah.
But they have them again this year just because the scheduling. It's 2 o'clock for the first, 3 o'clock for the first game, and 6:30 or 7 for the second one. So.
I'll watch portions of those games. Yep.
Yeah, and then New Year's Day, obviously, all the big ones. All right, so we'll keep tabs on all the 40 bowl games, 41
really.
or whatever that. We'll keep you updated on all that as we go.
There's an Upper
through.
Valley Bowl being played somewhere.
Right, somewhere. And we're going to come back and talk baseball, Major League Baseball winter meetings. Red Sox making quite a shakeup of their roster, getting some big-time favorites. Now they're the favorites for the American League. We'll come right back. You're watching YCN Sports Talk.